It looks like my little baby squirrel is back, nibbling away. Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog for May the 17th, 2021, and it's day 432 of COVID. So woke up this morning with a leaky sink. We'll talk more about that later, and we'll talk about our squirrel as well. But right now, let's talk about my finished project, the Pot Parade quilt. You've seen this one before. This is where all of these blocks are embroidered or in the hoop applique, and I've got it all done now. It's all been quilted. Now, it already was pre-quilted in terms of these blocks in behind because the sewing machine did those for me, the embroidery machine. But I added some more straight line quilting along each of the sashings and down the borders, and the outside blue border is all done in sort of my signature serpentine stitch. It turned out really nice, was worth the time and effort. And here's the back. I used a gradient fabric, and you can slightly see the quilting on this in terms of the straight lines, and I went around each square in a straight line as well. So it's all ready. Now I have to figure out a spot to put it, and I do think I have a spot planned on our staircase going down here to my craft room. There is a piece of blank wall there, believe it or not. I found a piece that I think I may be able to hang it from there. I don't want to just leave it all folded up along with some of my other quilts because it's too pretty to do that with. So I've got that all out of the way, and I was very industrious this weekend because I worked on the Strong and Free quilt as well, and that's the one with the huge maple leaf on it that has to be appliqued. Well, I've got the applique done on that, and I did have to alter the size of the blocks and some other fudging around to get it all to fit because for some reason my blocks did not come out the size that the pattern said they should come out, but that's okay. I was able to solve that problem, only with a tiny bit of cursing and swearing. And so the top is all done. And so because it is a very big quilt, I thought it would be better if I did a very short little video clip showing you what it looks like at this stage. Now keep in mind that I now have to layer it and I have to quilt it, and I didn't have enough backing fabric to get started on that. Actually, I thought I did, and when I laid it all out to start layering it, because my plan was that today I would start doing the actual quilting, no such luck. I did not have the right fabric for the back, and I was trying to match it with the fabric that I used, the red fabric that I used on the front of the quilt, and that's not easy to get. So I've got some on order. I'll get it on Tuesday from Ultimate Sewing. That is close. I think will work okay. I mean, it is the back of the quilt. Nobody really looks at the back of the quilt, so I mean, if my reds are not exactly identical to each other, it's not going to make a big difference. But here's what the top looks like. Okay, so I've got the top of this quilt called Strong and Free by Paul Leger all completed. It did give me a few problems in the instructions, but I made it work. In the original instructions, the pattern, there was not a border on this, but I have added a border because I thought that would finish it off very nice. Now, I thought I had backing fabric that would work on this, but I do not, so I've had to order 4 meters of this red that's in the quilt. It's actually not the same color. It is slightly different, but it'll be on the back and no one will notice that. And I'm very happy with it. But I will say it was a challenge. You wouldn't think so, but it was. These big pieces, this big maple leaf that's here in the center, that's all one piece that had to be appliqued. I've never appliqued anything that big before. And because I changed the measurements slightly on these blocks from what was in the pattern, I don't know why they did not come out exactly to the size that it said on the pattern. I don't know what I did wrong, but I had to adjust the size slightly, but it still works. It's a big quilt. And now once I get my backing fabric, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quilt it. And I think I'm going to do some walking foot quilting. I think I might do some straight line echoing in the maple leaf itself. Then I'm thinking of doing some serpentines that radiate out from the maple leaf over to the side. Actually, they may go all the way across. I'm not sure yet. Or I'll do something in the center of these blocks. Not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet. I'll probably have to lay it all out, put my big sheet of plastic on it, and do it from there. Sorry I can't get the whole thing in the video at once, but when I get it completely done, I will take a proper picture of it. So maybe by the end of the week I'll have that one completely finished as well. I'm thinking today I will start cutting out the fabric that I need for the City Lights quilt, which is a modern quilt design. And that's that one, I don't know if you remember or not, that I bought the fabric that had all the cityscape designs on it. So moving on. What else do I have here? YouTube channel of the week. Okay, usually we do Walter Cooks. This week, this is another cooking show. It's by the husband of Laura, who does Sew Very Easy. Those of you that are sewers or quilters will know that YouTube channel very well. But her husband's now doing a cooking one, and he has an Italian background, and so this is the YouTube channel of the week. This week's YouTube video is called Cooking with the Koias, and this is a cooking show that mainly focuses upon Italian cuisine, but this is done by the husband to Laura from Sew Very Easy. And it's a very interesting show because he has an Italian background, and so he plays on that background for cooking various types of Italian food. Now he does cook other things that aren't necessarily Italian, but everything he cooks looks very, very yummy. Now, having said that, I do find his style of presenting on his cooking show is kind of trying to imitate the great chefs of the world, and I think that kind of undermines his expertise in this field. His recipes look really good. He does not cook low fat, although he does use a lot of olive oil, which supposedly is a good fat to have, and he uses a lot of butter in his recipes. Now, he sometimes claims that these are better for you and he's cooking healthy, but I'm not sure about that. But then again, when it comes to comfort food like Italian food, do we really want something that is extremely health oriented? Anyways, if you like cooking shows, you might like this, and also because of his relationship, being the husband to Laura from a very well-known YouTube channel, then you might want to check out Cooking with the Koias. And all the links for Cooking with the Koias, Stephen and Walter Live, the Idiot Quilter, So Chatty, episode 8, where we confuse you completely about threads. We tried to make it more clear, but we found out that actually that's the nature of the beast with threads. They're just confusing. And a link to a spot that I'm going to talk about in a few minutes that was directed towards me, or actually I was directed towards by Johan from Go Ahead and Make Me, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to the 3D corner. I just want to say something about Stephen and Walter Live this week. The first minute you will see our lips move, but we'll hear nothing coming out of us. I forgot to turn on the microphones. Yeah, dummy me. But something else that's very interesting, and I don't know, I'm not sure why people have this problem. There have been many times where we have gotten comments after Stephen and Walter Live has gone live and is now the recorded version up on YouTube, where somebody is going, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "Oh, we can't hear you." "Oh, we can hear you now." Those comments sound like they're comments that are being made as if when they're watching the video that we are actually live at that point. We're not. I don't want to say people are stupid. I just did, I guess. I think it's not stupidity. I guess you just don't understand the technology. But it's like talking to your television set, you know, and expecting it to have a conversation with you. you're not going to get that. The only way you're going to get a conversation with us is when you tune in when it is live. And you know when it's live because it comes up on YouTube and says it's live. But when we're on there, after the fact, like after about 5:30 on a Sunday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, if you're watching it then, we're not live. That's the recording of it. So you can put all the comments you want, and you may be getting frustrated because we're not answering back. We're not answering back because we're not there. I hope that makes sense. I mean, I oftentimes have written messages back and saying, you know, hi, nice of you to say hello, but we're not live. Okay, and the only reason I'm writing a reply is just so you know that we're not live. I don't know, it's kind of weird when that happens. Now, the one thing I can say, one viewer put in this, I can't hear you. That was all the comment. And then 1 minute later, it was, yup. So this is what's making me think that this person thought we were live, and they were acknowledging the fact, because we had said, can you not hear us? Kind of thing, can you hear us now? That was during the live. Of course, that would be in the recording, right? The only thing I could think of that might have been confusing for this individual is that I have just recently started a 5-minute countdown to when we do go live. I found a way to do that on the software that I'm using. And I think it comes up when that countdown comes up, it says, we're now live. Maybe I should change that. Maybe that's what's confusing this person. Because I suppose if you just saw that, you would think we might be live. Plus, I have it so set up so that you can see the chat, the dialogue that's happening on the side. That happened. It recorded the dialogue too that's going on. So, okay, when I think about it, I could see how somebody new to YouTube and new to YouTube Lives could be confused by that. So, sorry, I didn't mean to call you stupid, okay? My fault, I confused you. I'm sorry. So I hope this cleared it up. So basically, if we don't answer back, we're not live. Okay, just want to clear that up. All right, moving on. So what's pissing me off this week? I'm a little afraid right now here in my province. We are still under lockdown. They just extended it to June the 2nd. Our numbers are going down, but they're not going down greatly. I mean, you listen to it on the news, you listen to it from the government, and they're making it sound like we're making great strides ahead, but we're not. We're not. As far as I'm concerned, if they have to report how many numbers we have of COVID every day, we're still not out of this, are we? Not everybody's had the first shot yet in Ontario. We have. The second shot is any man's guess as to when we're getting that. We're not even sure if we're going to get AstraZeneca, which is the first shot we had, or they're going to mix it up and give us one of the others because there's this controversy over AstraZeneca now. It's a very confusing time, to say the least. And so we have a long weekend coming up. It's the Victoria holiday. It's the Queen's birthday. Actually, it's Queen Victoria's birthday. She's dead. It's not the actual Queen now birthday. In fact, she just had her birthday about a month ago or so. But this is a long weekend here in Canada. Well, every weekend's been a long weekend, hasn't it, lately? To a point. But this is traditionally the weekend when people go and open up their cottages. They get together for barbecues with the family, with friends, have a big celebration, and get together in large groups. We're not supposed to do that. But there will be those who will not listen. There will be those who have had the first shot and think they're fully immunized, that they have less chance of getting it. Well, you might have less chance of getting it depending on the people you're hanging around with. Have they had the first shot? Are some of them fully vaccinated? All that kind of stuff. But it's still not a cure, is it? No, it's not. It's not a cure. You can still get COVID. You just might not get it so severe that it has to put you in the hospital. Maybe. They're not really sure yet about all that. But what's pissing me off is the lackadaisy attitude that people are starting to have, especially those people that have had the first shot. Well, I'm okay now, you know. No, we're not okay now. We're not. I mean, use logic and common sense. And this is something I have said since the beginning of this crisis. What happened to logic and common sense? Are we a planet full of stupid people? Yes, we are. As creatures that share this planet with other creatures, we think we're high up on the food chain. We think we're the most intelligent beings. We are not. I think there's other animals out there that have a lot more intelligence than we do. And, well, where's the proof for this lack of intelligence? I'm going to tell you. In about 2 weeks' time, we're going to see our numbers go up again in Ontario. There's going to be a mad scramble. They're going to lock us down further. I will say one thing for the government right now, who have botched this since day one at all levels of government. You've heard me say that before. At least they extended this lockdown in our province to June the 2nd. Basically, if they'd opened up just before the long weekend, that would have been a free-for-all. Everybody's going, great, now we can get out and have fun. We can go find a patio, have a beer, go to a restaurant, go to great gatherings in parks and everything, you know, get together with the family and the friends, have block parties, all that kind of stuff. So they did extend it to June the 2nd, hoping to curtail, I'm sure, that problem. But will it? Well, we'll find out very soon, won't we? I suspect it won't. I suspect the yahoos will still be gathering together because, you know, it's their right, according to them. We will hear fireworks going off all weekend long because this is also some tradition. We have fireworks on the Victoria weekend. So I'm worried because, you know what's going to happen? The government's going to turn around and they're going to say those two horrible words, lock down, and they're going to lock us down further. And I'm sorry, but I need a haircut. Okay? I do need a haircut. But you know, I may be sporting the hippie style. If that's what it takes, to keep people safe and to keep myself safe, I will obey the lockdown rules. And I wish other people would do the same thing, because if they did, and we know this is the thing that pisses me off. This is common sense. We know this. And yet, bingo. I blame the Americans as well. Yeah, I blame the Americans. Why am I blaming the Americans? Because what we're hearing in Canada is, you know, there are many people in the States have had 2 shots already. There are places in the States that are opening back up, completely opening back up. There are places in the States that have made wearing masks an optional thing. Okay, that's the situation in the States. That's the States. But you know, we're so close to the States that the Canadians are grasping at straws and thinking, well, if the Americans can do it, so can we. No, our situation is different. The Americans got the vaccines. The Americans make the vaccines. Canada is reliant upon getting vaccines from other countries. We have a shortage of vaccines. We don't make the vaccines in Canada, thanks to one of our governments at some point in time who decided, hey, we don't have to worry about that. We'll buy it from other countries. Yeah. But you see, if we see all the Americans out there, you know, returning to somewhat of a normal lifestyle. And I know that is all dependent upon state per state, you know, like it is here for us from province to province. But nevertheless, those people here in Canada that refuse to listen to common sense, see the Americans with what they're doing and figure it's the same for us and we should be doing that too, and they're just going to do it. So, yeah, it pisses me off, and I'm getting tired of being pissed off about this damn thing. So anyways, I'll just hope for the best, hope that common sense prevails. Don't have a lot of hope for that, and that soon the restrictions can be let up. I don't know how I feel about that myself personally. I think I'll be wearing a mask for much longer, at least until I get the second shot. and we'll see how it goes from there. Fingers crossed. Okay, so product review. Well, I got some new microphones and I'm not using them. I'm using my old microphone, which is corded. I bought another wireless microphone that I thought that I might be able to use with my other wireless microphone. And the reason I wanted two wireless microphones is so when Walter and I are doing So Chatty, we can both be wearing a microphone. When we do Stephen and Walter Live, that's a whole different system. And we don't have to worry about wearing microphones because my system on my computer picks us both up fine. But for So Chatty, we're usually in the sewing room and we need two mics. Okay, so that theory didn't work. The other wireless microphone will not work in conjunction with the first wireless microphone that I bought. But I did buy a dual microphone system that looks very much like the one I'm wearing now, except there's two of them and they go through into one connector. They do work. So although they're not wireless, those microphones are what we're using for So Chatty, and now people can hear us both. So yeah, I'm still experimenting. Now, okay, there are systems I could get, I know, that would solve this problem, no problem at all, except they're $150 to $300 for those. You know, they're little packs, you wear them on your belt kind of a thing, and maybe someday I will actually invest in those. But right now, no. That's a bit of an expense. Well, that's money I could be using to buy fabric, quite frankly. So anyways, I have a solution for now that seems to be working, so that's what we're going with. So that was something new I got this week. I got a bunch of other stuff on order, and I found, well, I didn't find it. Somebody, now I'm sorry I can't remember, I think it was a lady by the name of Nancy, who sent me a link to a place out in Calgary called Pacana? Yeah, Pacana. They are basically a wholesaler of sewing supplies. Now, they don't have everything I need, but they had a lot of stuff that I wanted. And there's a bag I want to make, and it has some zippers and some other special features in it, and I don't have everything I need for it. Well, this company had that stuff. Ridiculously cheap. Ridiculously cheap. I needed some zippers. Zippers, 19 cents. 19 cents? You go into any store, and to buy a simple zipper, say an 8-inch simple zipper, it's going to cost you $2.49 or more. 19 cents. And then they had some other things that I can't get any other places. So I put in an order. I put in a hefty order for all kinds of things, and I'm waiting for it to come. You do have to register with them, and they send you a way to, get your password put into the system, because as I said, they are a wholesale company, or seem to be, but you don't have to have a business to do business with them. They ship it by UPS, I think. So I'm waiting for it. It's supposed to come middle of this week, so it's taking about a week. If it comes on time, it'll be in about a week by the time I get it from Calgary. That's not too bad. And I'm not in a rush, so that's fine. So if you're interested in checking this out, I do not have them listed in my show notes, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about them tomorrow on the Idiot Quilter, and I will have them listed there. But in the meantime, I'll just orally give it to you. It's just pacana.com. So PACCANA. pacana.com if you're interested. Okay, so that takes us to stories about my grandmother, and I call this one Jesus Daisy They Fit. Now, I got to back up before I get to the main point of that quote in the story. You've heard me talk about the girls that lived just beside my grandmother, up a hill actually, that I used to hang out with when I was a kid, and we are still all good friends now after 60 years. Kind of a thing. We don't get to see each other very often because they live away from me a piece, a couple of hours away. But when we can get together, we have, and it's just like no time has gone by since then. But their father was a school teacher, a history teacher, high school history teacher, and he had quite the sense of humor. Well, my grandmother had this tendency to leave her teeth all over the place. She had full partial plate or full plate of teeth, okay? People her age in those days, that was not uncommon. And if they weren't soaking in a cup of water somewhere in the house, they were sitting next to the bathroom sink or the kitchen sink, wherever she had taken them out. Grossed me out as a kid. Actually, it still grosses me out. Or she'd have them wrapped up in a Kleenex or a paper towel somewhere, so you did not reach for a crumpled tissue or a piece of paper towel on the kitchen table because there might be teeth in it. All right, so that's where they were, my grandmother's teeth. Well, this guy, he would drop in on my grandparents all the time, have a cup of coffee with them or whatever. And my grandmother and his name was Doug, used to get into these deep philosophical conversations. In fact, the two of them used to bait each other. It was just a friendly rivalry, I think. But one time, he came down the hill, comes into my grandparents' house, sits down at the table. I guess my grandmother's making him a cup of coffee. And my grandmother's teeth are sitting there on the table. This is kind of gross, okay? So sorry, don't eat while I tell you this. He looks at them, he picks them up, he takes out his teeth, shoves her teeth in his mouth and goes, and my grandmother's name was Daisy, and he goes, "Jesus, Daisy, they fit." What more can you say about something like that, really? It's hilarious, it's gross, it's just entertainment from every point of view. I think if I had physically been there when that had happened, I think I would have thrown up. But anyways, that expression, "Jesus, Daisy, they fit," stuck with my family, like so many things do in my family, these quirky little sayings and things. And so from then on, and even to this day, when something, works out, goes together, fine or whatever, the expression I use is, "Jesus, Daisy, it fits." Okay, maybe you don't find that funny. Maybe you find it disgusting. But I think it was hilarious. But, that's just part of the quirks of that community, of these people that I will always remember. And I always look upon these memories fondly. I do. They were good times in those days. And yeah, nostalgia is one of those things where, you probably make things in your memories better than they really were in real life. But I will always remember that. Jesus, Daisy, they fit. Okay, that's just a short little story about my grandmother and her teeth. It's actually more about the neighbor, but, there you are. Okay, so that takes us to the 3D corner. And I made some more shelves because I'm running out of space for all the things I make on the 3D printer. Okay, I'm so obsessed with making things on the 3D printer. It's becoming like sort of how I was obsessed when I first got into scrapbooking with paper, how I'm obsessed with fabric as I quilt. Now I'm obsessed with making 3D models of things that really just sit there. I don't use. But there are some things I do use. And I had this, when I do embroidery, the embroidery machine, of course, like any sewing machine, takes a bobbin. And you usually it gets down to a certain level where the machine just won't continue sewing until you put in a full bobbin again. But there's a good, probably 25% of the bobbin thread left on that, and I don't want to really throw it out. So I've been pitching it into a little container, and I've been using it in my regular sewing to use it up, rather than having all these partial bobbins laying around. But the little container, bobbin thread has a tendency to fall off the bobbin, and it gets tangled up with other bobbin threads, and then you've got a mess. So I want to organize them. So I went to my 3D printer and I created this. I don't want to tip it up too far, I'll lose everything. I made this handy dandy little bobbin holder. And the thing is, I made the individual little trays. I found them online somewhere, the model for it, and put it in. Works fine. And this little tray that these are glued down to, I glue gunned these individual little trays in here, little sections. This was a cast off. This was something I started to make for some project, and I never finished it because it was the wrong size or whatever. But I don't throw out my rejects. Okay, I'm a pack rat. I have a big basket full of plastic rejects that didn't work out or whatever from my 3D printer. So I grabbed this and they fit perfectly with these. So this sits over by my sewing machine and now they're all nicely organized and I'm not wasting thread by throwing the bloody things out. So there's a practical print, as they call it. Impractical prints are the Sydney Opera House. Now, I have been printing things out, landmarks I call them, of places that I have been in the world in my travels. And so, of course, I've been to Australia, you know that, 3 times. So I printed out the Sydney Opera House. Now, there's a bit of a glare on this. I don't know if that's any better. It's very shiny, but pretty cool, eh? I really love it. I think it looks really neat. And, okay. You're probably going to laugh at this too. So, yesterday I went out and I cleaned up our patio area. And our patio area is underneath our deck and it's all waterproofed under there. But every year about this time when the weather gets a little nicer, we like to go and sit out there in the evening or, you know, during the day enjoying a glass of wine or whatever. Or sometimes I'll take my sewing machine out there and sew in nice weather too. So, but through the winter, you know, dirt, dust, all that kind of stuff collects under there because although it's enclosed, the front part of it has just privacy lattice and so there's holes in it and things blow in and whatnot. So it's all carpeted out there. We have a big carpet and there's nice faux wicker chairs and things like that. And we got a little coffee table and, you know, little candles and all that kind of stuff. It's quite a cozy little spot, one of my favorite spots here in the house in the nice weather. So I get out there and I wipe down all the furniture and clean up all the dust and vacuum and get it all nice and spruced up and everything so we can sit out there, put the pads back on the chairs and all that kind of stuff. So I was looking around out there and I was thinking, you know, this needs some greenery. But the problem is, if you were to put plants under there, they're not going to do well because 1, it's waterproof, so we'd have to make sure we watered them. 2, in the afternoon in the summer, it can get very warm under there because it's a western exposure. So it's hot. And it doesn't get a lot of direct sunlight, if any sunlight. Really, it can be, you know, in the afternoon the sun can come through, but during the rest of the day you're not going to get much sun because it's underneath the deck. So any kind of plants we could get out there are just going to die. But then I got thinking, what about succulents? Everybody's into succulents these days. Everything I look at is about succulents, it seems. Well, succulents are difficult to kill, I think. I mean, basically, they're used to surviving on a minimal amount of water. And I think they can survive, like if it's hot, because they come from hot temperatures and things like that. So I thought, that might be nice. I could just make some pots and get some succulents and put them in. Yeah, but here's the problem. Where am I going to get succulents right now? We're in lockdown. And although the garden centers are open, the ones that are outside, to get your usual plants for your garden, I don't know. Now, I haven't looked, but I don't think they have a real wide variety of succulents in that situation right now. So, have 3D printer will make succulents. And I made an aloe plant. And there it is. Now, this supposedly is made out of a filament called bronze. But I really like it. I think it's quite nice. Now, right at the moment, as you can probably hear in the background when you hear a little squeaking or a little fan running, I'm printing the matching pot that goes with this. And I'm printing the pot out of rainbow colored filament. My idea is, I've got a few other succulent plants too, different ones that I found. I'm going to make a bunch of these and I'm going to put them out there on the tables as a little decoration. And I can use them from year to year and I don't have to worry about watering them or killing them. So, yeah, I know. You're probably going, wouldn't it be nicer to have the real thing? Yeah, but this looks really good. It's got a nice little shine to it as well. So, I'm not trying to pretend that this is a real plant. I'm just trying to add a little decor out there. And I'm thinking that once I've got this one made, and with the pot, that I might make some more, make them a little bigger, a little smaller, and in some of the other pots that I can make that look more like Grecian urns and things like that, these might look really cool hanging out of those as well. So I don't know, I'm playing. So in a sense, this little project is both a playful print and a practical print, yes. Okay, so for those of you that are into 3D printing, Johan from Go Ahead and Make Me YouTube channel, which I have reviewed several weeks ago, and he's in Australia, Johan gave me the link to a site that has models that are actual pieces of art. Sculptures, urns, things like that. And they have been 3D scanned, and they're available for free to download and print out on your printer. So I have picked several of those that I really like, and I'm going to print those out after I'm finished making my succulent display. But if you want to check that out because you have a 3D printer, because these are actual works of art, ancient artifacts kind of a thing, I've put the link below. It's called Scan the World My Mini Factory, and the link is in the show notes. And check it out, take a look at it. It's got some really interesting pieces. Now, mind you, they're going to take you a while to print out, I am sure, but you know, that's okay. Okay, so what's that take us to next? Yes, part 4 of the Rolodex book, and I think there's only one part left after that, and then I gotta come up with a new project. I have to think about that. So here's the next part of the Rolodex book. So now I want to work on some of the like single little note sheets or just the ephemera that'll stick out through the pages of the Rolodex book. What I've done is I've kind of separated these into sets, and I have already inked all the way around the edges just to give them that aged look. Now, I've been thinking with these, I might try distressing the edge. Now, I used to have a distressor tool in my set of supplies, which I'm not even sure where that has gone now. But you can use the edge of a pair of scissors. And I just want to rough it up a little bit. You know, sort of dog-ear it. And I can use my ink around that too, just lightly. So that looks a little bit more worn, torn. That one I just leave as it is. This one, I'm going to try something. I'm going to take this and crumble it up a little bit. There we go. We've got some nice wrinkles in there now. Let me put a few more in. Dog-ear it. Just look like this picture's maybe been in somebody's wallet forever. Maybe it's their children or something like that. I don't know. Maybe just lightly go over those parts. Okay, that looks pretty good. So those ones are ready to go. These are kind of boring just as they are. Maybe rounding the corners would be a good idea. Let's get out a corner rounder here and see. These are actually old cars on here, but the backs are blank, so they could be written on, or a picture could be attached to them. And let's just, even though I've already done this once, now I've got that new piece of card exposed from doing the rounding of the corners. I want to give that a little bit more ink. And I've got another idea for these as well. I'm thinking maybe some little fancy paper clips on them and a little note. Let me find my fancy paper clips. So in my stash I found these little pieces. They're from a pad where you just push them out. They're, you know, perforated around the edges. And I found these interesting little paper clips that have to do with, it looks like, travel or something like that, but that's okay. Travel, that'll work. There's a what's that? There's a little camera. That would be good. And there's a little steering wheel. What's this? Oh, binoculars. Well, those will go good for sightseeing on a car. And maybe the little globe will work there too. And I'll keep these close by because I might use them on a few other things too. And I thought maybe I would clip some of these to these cards as well. So these become, basically these things become tags. I've got junk hanging off my hand, my fingers. So I'm just going to go around the edges like I do with every other piece here. Don't mind this, my hands. I've got ink all over them. But, you know, that's one of the occupational hazards of being a paper crafter, isn't it? It's not a big deal. Okay. So let's just take one of these and put one of these little clips on here. That holds that. I don't think I need any glue. And this one, that looks like a little tag. Well, it is a little tag. And there. I think that kind of makes those a little bit more interesting. Okay, what else do we have here in our pile of goodies? I have these. I think I'm just going to leave... No. I'm going to use some of those paper dolls on these. So let's see. There. Those two can go on that one. Here's a happy bunch at the office. And yeah, those all can all go right there like that. I don't know if darkening the edges of these make much of a difference. Well, maybe a little bit on some of the lighter areas. These are a happy bunch of little secretaries. Yeah, really. They want higher wages. Okay, where's my tape runner? Okay, I think that's all I'll do with those. So put those off to the side. Now I have these. These I think would look nice with a little scalloped edge. So grab my little scallop punch again. And these I'll probably put in this way, so I guess I better touch up the edges here. They need something else with them. I pulled these other little things out. Actually, I think I might just take that, let's see, round the corners of this one. And just do that. And I think I'd like that, or I could do it more like that. Yeah, I'll do it straight on. So that acts as a little tab. Yeah, I got a little glue because I wasn't paying attention. So I just take my little glue eraser. That's what this is. This will take glue off of anything that you don't want glue to be on. It's a handy little thing to have. It essentially just rolls the glue up and off it. Okay, I've got that, so I think I'll do that with that one, and maybe take this little card, and it can go along there. I'm not going to round the edges on this one. Oh wait, I like this side better. Yeah, I think I'll use this side. Okay. Thank goodness for this glue eraser. So, I want that up on there, or do I want that? I think better up there. Okay. And that little card can just pop down inside. I don't need anything more with it. I think I should put something across the top there. Now, I was using the dynamo, but maybe I should use something else. Let me see what I can find in my stash. Here's something I found, some little stickers that say cherish, days gone by, family history. So maybe days gone by would be good. And they're already sticky, but I think I will add just a little bit more sticky. So these serve as sort of a tab, and this one, oh, there's a cute little embellishment. Well, let's just stick that right up there in the corner. And this one has a little flourish on the end that peeks up over the top. You know, I forgot to go around these with this, but that's okay. They'll survive. So yeah, those are kind of nice too. Now I'm thinking of taking some of the paper dolls and the butterflies and interspersing them as well, hanging out of the book. So I'm going to get the book. I'm going to clean up the spots on here. I'm going to stick some of these things in, and that will determine what I need to do next. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I have put all my ephemera into the Rolodex book. Now, as you can see, I'm tilting it up here. I will take pictures of the final products and put them at the end of the video of this so you can get a really good look at it. But I think it looks really quite cool. And I have discovered, though, that you only have so much space, because when you get down in here, there isn't much you can put here. I was trying to think what I could do with that. But I think I have those chess pieces, which I want to put here in the corner. So I think that's what I'm going to do next to finish it off. And if I come up with any other ideas, I'll do something then as well. So that takes us to events in the past week. Update on my mother, she's fine. Last week was a little confusing. As you know, I usually do a FaceTime with her every Tuesday morning. And I had my usual time booked, and I'm waiting for them to call me to make the link with FaceTime. And they call me, the nursing home, and I say they. I don't call them. So I waited. I had it scheduled for 11 o'clock. 11:05 came, no call. 11:10 came. I thought, did I get my dates mixed up? I went and double checked. No, I had it for 11 o'clock. 11:15 came. Thought, well, maybe they're just busy. They've got, other people on calls that are running a little late, because they're usually on time when they call. But so I waited. 11:20 came around. I'm thinking, something's not right. 11:25 came around. I thought, okay, no, there's something wrong. So I thought, as an experiment, I would just do a callback on the last FaceTime that I had with them, because my phone registered the number they were calling from. So I clicked on that, and it rang. It rang about 4 or 5 times. Now, I figured no one was going to answer it, but somebody did answer it. It's a young guy who works there. I'd never seen him before, so he might be somebody new, or, well, it's been over a year since I've been able to go into the place, so, lots of things change. Anyways, I told him who I was and what I was doing, and he says, you didn't get a text message? Your mother's in bed. And I says, oh, is she sick? He says, no, she's just a little tired out, so she didn't feel like, a FaceTime call, which is what my mother does when she doesn't feel like doing something. She just claims she's not feeling well and stays in bed. I said, oh, okay, well, that's not a problem. He says, well, I'm so sorry. He says, you should have got it. The person that was doing it wasn't him, obviously, was to send me a text message about that. And that has happened in the past before, and that's fine. But I didn't get a message. Well, he was profusely apologetic for that. Well, not his fault. And I said, it's not a big problem. I'll just reschedule it. That's okay. Thanks for letting me know. So I did. I rescheduled it for the next day, and I got her. And I said, so, Mom, you were in bed yesterday? Oh, that's all I get. Oh. And I said, yeah, so you feeling okay today? Oh, I'm fine. Okay. Anyways, yeah. There's never a dull moment with my mother. You never know what's going to happen next. But anyway, she's okay, and it sounds like they're planning to move them into the new residence now. I guess they've got the other COVID cases that are broken out in the new residence are under control, are resolved, whatever that means. I don't know. You hear that on the news. So many cases have been resolved. Anyways, they're talking about the week of May the 25th, which will be next week. I guess moving them in, and I'm assuming they will let me know in advance, and then I can go through all the hell again with trying to get her services disconnected and getting her new services connected in the new home. Yeah. Anyways, such is life. So I'll be happy when she's in the new home, though, because I think she'll be happier there. But knowing my mother, she'll find something to complain about. So that's my mom. So my little squirrel came back. Now, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I had a little short video of the squirrel underneath the patio and him bouncing around. Cute little guy. And I think he's just a young guy. Anyways, he was back doing what he was doing last time. Cleaning up the carpet. I mean, I swear, if I could get that squirrel to push a vacuum cleaner around, it would keep that part of the patio really neat and tidy. But anyways, he was there, so I did a little video of Squirrely, and I'm going to put it in here right now. And why am I doing this? Because he's too stinking cute. You got to see him. It looks like my little baby squirrel is back, nibbling away. I don't know what he can find on here to eat, but he's very, very cute. Look at that tail. I think he's a very young squirrel. And I wonder if he's the same little guy that was here before. I think he might be, because he seems to be very comfortable under here. I also think he may have dropped a little bit of a load on my carpet over on the far side. Oh well, I'll get that with a vacuum cleaner. He is very cute. Very cute. Now he's up on the table. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the same little guy. Well, he's having a good time there. Whatever he can find to eat, I don't know. Well, saves me from vacuuming. I am so tempted to take some peanuts or something and put them out there for him. But Walter won't let me do that, because he says then he'll be back all the time, and yeah, next thing you know, he'll be lined up with his friends banging on the glass going, more nuts please, kind of a thing. And Walter doesn't want that. And of course Walter says then he'll be crapping all underneath there, making a mess and chewing up things and whatnot. I don't know. I think he's just cute, but I'm not going to feed him, because you know what'll happen is I'll feed him, he'll destroy the cushions on the chairs and everything like that. He is a rodent, and it'll become a nuisance, and then Walter goes, I told you so. So I'm not going to put myself into that situation. So we did get some exercise last week. We finally decided to break in our new hiking shoes and went on a little walk in the woods near the middle of the tail end of the week last week. It was a nice day. It was a nice little walk in the woods, and so I took some video of it and let you know what it looks like in our area, because this is not very far from us where we went. Okay, so we're going to attempt this again. We're in the place before that It was at that point covered in ice and a little bit of snow and too slippery, but now we've got our official hiking shoes right here, and we are going to attempt to do a little nature walk. It's a nice day today. It's nice and warm. That sound you hear in the background, I think those are frogs. So we're going to attempt to walk in the bushes just as soon as Walter figures out what he's doing on his phone. And this is the start of the trail, I think. Walter has a map on his phone, which he doesn't seem to be able to read.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out if I'm recording or not.
What are you recording?
Well, here.
So into the woods we go. Wasn't there a play called Into the Woods? Yes, there was. We saw it. It was horrible. So we're on this trail now, and we're heading towards this little bridge to go across the river. At least Walter's map says so. Yeah, I don't know. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh no. Well, no lions or tigers, but there could be bears. Walter already looked that up today. They said if you see a bear, keep it entertained. What, as it plays with my dead body? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I just told you the
I
bears.
thought you're supposed to lay down, play dead. Yeah, the bears know that trick.
No, they say you're not supposed to do that unless it's a cub looking for, a mother looking for her cubs.
Oh. Well, this would be cubby wubby season. So, yeah. I'm just a city boy. Ooh, Dorothy. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. If I see
the Yellow Brick Road.
If I see a flying monkey, I'm out of here. Okay, so there's some kind of flower here, and I'm not sure if these are mayflowers or what they are. They're pretty little things. I've been looking for trilliums, though, which happen to be the official flower of Ontario and are illegal to pick. But we haven't seen any yet, so either it's too early or they just don't have any trilliums out here. According to Walter's map, we are no longer on the route. Apparently it wanted us to cross the river, but there wasn't a bridge there. There was at one time, but it's not there anymore. So I don't know if we were supposed to jump it, wade in it, whatever. So now we're on something called the Ruffed Grouse. 2.4 kilometers. And it's going uphill. Where's the escalator? Wait, in the distance I see something that looks like a restaurant. Let's run to it. Let's get beer. Let's get French fries. Let's have chicken wings. Look at it. Oh, it's not. Oh, I'm so disappointed. This truly is roughing it. Okay, so I don't know how many of you know what a fiddlehead is, but a fiddlehead is actually a fern. It's what ferns look like before they fully blossom. And people will pick these and fry them up in butter and eat them. You can actually buy them frozen too. We know because we tried once. They're not that great. I don't recommend it unless you'd like to have a mouthful of grass. But you're not allowed to pick them here, so good to know. And we've got another bridge here going over a babbling brook of sorts. Take a look at the brook. Don't want to fall in. Pictures to the stream. And onward we go. Now I showed you the sign that showed the fiddleheads, but these are actual little tiny fiddleheads that haven't come out completely yet. They're the top of the fern. But that's what they look like in nature. The real thing. So now we're sort of doubling back towards where we started. It's been just a thrill. Two old men on a trail about to have heart attacks. So this is exercise. No, not seeming to like it. Not at all. I need a big bag of chips and a nap to watch my stories. And how far have we gone, Walter?
2.5 kilometers.
Oh, well, that's a piece. 2.5 kilometers. In regular system, that's 3 feet. So we're coming up to a fork in the path here, and Walter says we should take the other fork.
That's the way we came before.
You know, the road less taken. So apparently we're forking off in the woods. Okay, we'll just pause for a moment so you can hear the sounds of nature.
Natural sounds.
Shh. Bird calls. And what's the bird saying? I do believe it's the rare call of the "when are we going to Florida" bird. Okay, I think we're coming out to civilization. So here's a picturesque little pond, and there's something in the middle. I don't know what lives in that, if anything. But it's somebody's home. Although I don't think anybody's home right now. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And we're just about out of the woods. And Walter says we've gone
3 kilometers.
3 kilometers, wow. If you look down in here, that is a small beaver dam. And the beaver is a national animal for us in Canada. We have lots of them around.
Hey, there's another one up ahead here.
Where?
Right
up further. Oh, this next one, there's another one up here. Looks like a bigger one. Up there in the bushes. We'll just take a mosey on over. Birds are loud up here today. And here's a rare animal in the woods. The Wally Warfist naturalis. Looking to strike in his natural habitat. Okay, yep, that's another dam.
Fucking.
Excuse me.
Sorry, it's a stupid. My camera was kept screwing up.
So that's the beaver dam. So you see, they have a beaver dam here and there's a beaver dam down there, and you'll wonder why. Because what they're trying to do, and these look like old beaver dams, so there's a possibility there aren't any beavers in this anymore, but they build them at either end, so this area will all fill up. And then they can fish in it and do other things too. So that's the Canadian beaver. This moment brought to you by Hinterland's Hoo Hoo. If you're Canadian, you'll understand the reference. And so that was our little jaunt into the woods. And we're back to the parking lot. And there's Walter right there. So we have to do that on a more regular basis. And there's a lot of conservation areas around where we live. So, you know, we can try a different one next time. It's some exercise, but boy, am I out of shape. Because when I hit those little hills, and they were just little hills, I was sort of huffing and puffing. That's not good. That's not good. I've been trying to watch what I'm eating, especially trying to watch what I'm drinking, because liquid calories sneak up on you real quick. And of course, you know, trying to cut back on those liquid calories, and you know what kind of liquid calories I'm talking about, right? Wine and beer, kind of a thing. So, yeah, we'll see. I know I need to do regular exercise, but I don't like doing it. And I don't feel like doing it. So suck it up, Buttercup. Anyways, new problems this morning. Just before I went to record this, we have a problem with our sink. We've had this problem for a while. The connection to the drain in the sink, the kitchen sink, the vibration over time loosens the nut, the hexagonal nut, or whatever you call that, that basically secures the pipe at the bottom of the drain to the system. And of course, it pulls apart partially and it starts to leak a little bit. What's our solution? We have a little bucket underneath it lined with paper towels that suck up whatever. It's just a few drops all the time, but it adds up over time, right? Not the solution. But right now we're not sure whether we can get a plumber in, because Walter's not sure if he can fix it because he thinks the threads are stripped where you tighten this up. So, you know, every so often he goes under and tightens it up as far as he can again, and then it's good for a while, and then it gets to a point where, you know, you have to do it again. Not a good solution. So this morning I was looking under the sink and went, oh my God, the little pan we have under there is 3/4 full. This is not good. It's not good for many reasons. One, if it overflows in there, it'll go down through our kitchen floor. And guess what's right beneath our kitchen? My sewing area. Not good. Not good. So I dumped that, cleaned it up, and I got looking at the pipe. Yeah, this is why we had a lot of water in it, is because the pipe was completely detached from the drain. Not good. So I woke Walter up because, of course, this was at about 7:15 this morning, and he's still asleep, and he's still asleep. And now it's about 8:20 in the morning, because he's the person who's kind of, I'm not very handy at things. When I say not very, I'm not good at it at all. I tightened it back up with my hand as far as I could go with that. But then it just seizes and you can't go any further, and that's where the problem lies. So he looked at it and I said, we got to do something about this on a more permanent basis. So I'm going to look up on the internet. I think you can take the drain out in the sink part. I think I've seen this where you can actually get in there with something and kind of screw that around, and that will lift up that whole piece. And that is the piece we need, the little pipe in there. Although I saw another little screwy thing. See, I told you I'm not handy. A little other screwy thing under there that I think you can probably loosen off, and that piece of pipe that has a thread on it, you can probably get it replaced. Problem is, where are we going to get it? I don't know. I don't know if you can phone up Home Depot right now, because you can't go in the store, I don't think, and say this is what I need, but I don't even know what it's called. It's a screwy thing with a pipe with threads. So I'm going to do some research after I finish this on the internet, and we'll see what happens out of that. So I went and got a bigger bucket. That's my solution, and I tightened it up more, and yeah, if it doesn't rain, it snows, or whatever the expression is. If it doesn't rain, it pours. So sink problems. We shall get this fixed one way or another. Okay, so that's about the only thing I have left to tell you. Nothing else. What's coming up? Nothing. Long weekend. Yay. Well, I already talked about that. And all the problems that we could have with that. So, yeah, I hope you have a good week. I hope you're getting the shot. I hope things are getting better wherever you live as well. I hope that means that we're getting out of this thing soon. And, yeah. So stay healthy, stay happy, stay in, or at least be safe about what you're doing. And we'll see you next week. Bye for now.